Hi, Ms. Diggs, and welcome. In this short module, we are going to walk through how to help students begin thinking critically about AI. As AI tools become more common, students are starting to use them more frequently. But many are not yet equipped to question the accuracy of what they actually see on the screen. Today, we will share simple strategies and a ready-to-use mini lesson that you can use with your students. Based on our needs assessment, one of the biggest concerns is that students tend to trust AI immediately. Because AI responses sound confident, students often assume that the information they're seeing is correct without checking it. This creates a gap in critical thinking that we want to address through simple and structured instruction. The goal is not to stop students from using AI, but instead, we want to help them use it responsibly by questioning responses, checking for accuracy, and understanding that AI is a support tool and not a replacement for their thinking. A common misconception we see is that students believe if AI gives an answer, it must be correct. Part of our role is helping students slow down and question that assumption. One of the most effective strategies is simply modeling questioning. Instead of confirming answers right away, pause and ask students things like, how do we know? Or, does this sound correct? Giving students a simple strategy like stop, think, check helps them remember what to do when they encounter AI-generated content. This keeps the process clear and developmentally appropriate. Next, we're going to model a short mini lesson that you can use with your students. When you are working with your 3rd through 5th grade students, you might start your lesson with a hook to get them engaged and say, have you ever asked AI a question and gotten an answer right away? It feels fast and helpful. But here's the real question we need to think about. Can we trust everything AI says? Next, you would want to let your students know that AI can be thought of as a tool. You could do this by saying, AI is a tool that helps us find information. But just like any tool, it is not perfect. Sometimes it makes mistakes, and sometimes it gives incomplete answers. The strategy you are going to model is the stop, think, check strategy. So start by giving your students a scenario. You could say, let's look at an example. Imagine we ask AI this question. What do penguins eat? Since we are pretending we asked AI a question, we can pretend AI gave us an answer. You would say, AI could respond with something like this. Penguins eat fish, ice, and snow. Now you want to introduce the strategy by telling them to stop, think, and check. You could say, take a moment to stop, think, and check. Does this answer sound correct? You would continue to model by questioning them and saying what you're thinking. Let's think. Penguins do eat fish, but do they eat ice or snow? Does any animal actually eat ice or snow? No, they do not eat ice or snow. That means that the AI answer is not completely correct. Modeling your thinking helps students see that AI answers can be partly correct and partly incorrect. We want this to be a key takeaway for students, so we really emphasize this by saying, this shows us that AI can give answers that sound right even when they are not fully accurate. Whenever you get an answer from AI, you need to stop, think, and check. You cannot assume that everything that they give you is 100% true. Give your students another scenario to practice with. Say, let's look at another example. Imagine we ask AI this. Give me a type of bird. Guide your students with the second example by modeling again. Say, this is the answer that we get from AI. Bats are birds. You are modeling your thinking still, so you want to pause and ask your students, what should we do when we use AI? You want to remind them of the strategy by reinforcing them to stop, think, and check. You could say, stop, think, check. Does this answer sound correct? You will want to guide students to think and ask them to decide and explain their thinking by saying something like, what do you think? Is this answer true or false? Why or why not? And how do you know? You will confirm and explain the answer, reinforcing the need to stop, think, and check. Bats are mammals and not birds. We cannot trust AI to give us the correct answer. It is always important to stop, think, and check. After the two scenarios, you can lead a discussion based on the question, should we trust AI? This is where your students begin to explain their thinking. This is an important part of the lesson because we are not telling students to not use AI. Instead, we are helping them understand when it is appropriate to use it. AI can be helpful for things like getting ideas, asking questions, or learning more about a topic. However, students should still be doing the thinking and the work themselves. AI should support their learning and not replace it. Mistakes, you can use this slide as a kickstarter for times when using AI for your students might be okay. You should edit with any specific examples that your teachers may be doing or whatever they might have coming up in their curriculum. You could also use this slide as a kickstarter for times when using AI for your students might not be okay. It is just as important to be clear about when AI should not be used. Students need to understand that copying AI responses or using it to complete assignments without thinking is just not appropriate. This helps set clear expectations and supports responsible use of technology. As you use this lesson, simple teacher moves make a big difference here. Pause after showing an AI response, ask students how they know, and give them time to explain their thinking. These small steps help build critical thinking habits over time. For instruction, the goal is not to eliminate AI, but to guide students in using it responsibly. This mini lesson can be used in media classes or integrated into digital citizenship instruction for grades 3 through 5.
Before we wrap up, we wanted to make sure you have everything you need to take this into your classroom. The sample mini lesson slides we modeled throughout the module are available for you to use and edit as needed. We have included a direct link so you can access them easily and adapt them for your students. You will notice that the slides we created are intentionally very clean with minimal text. This is based on the coherence principle, which helps reduce distractions so your students can focus on the most important ideas. We also designed the lesson so that your voice does most of the explaining while the visuals support understanding, rather than repeating the same information on the screen. This reflects the modality and redundancy principles, which help prevent cognitive overload and support comprehension, especially for your younger learners. You may also have noticed that key ideas like stop, think, check are repeated and emphasized. This is an example of signaling, which helps guide student attention and improves retention. Additionally, there are small features throughout, like the typewriter animation when introducing AI questions. Those were used intentionally to draw attention to key moments and make the lesson feel more interactive for your students. All of these design choices were made to support student understanding and to make the lesson easy for you to implement. Our goal is for you to feel confident using these materials as a starting point while also adapting them to meet the needs of your students. If you have any questions or would like support, we are happy to help.